Greg, it's the final match for Scotland in the Autumn Nations Series against Japan. How's preparation been this week?
Really good, actually. When you come to the fourth week, you're conscious that the players' physical levels might be under strain. When you're on the back of defeat, you might be seeing the morale low. But it's been the opposite this week. The players have been very much together, very determined and positive that they're going to play their best rugby this weekend. And from a physical point of view, we've trained hard and fast this week, and the players have been excellent.
And you've made 7 changes to the team to face Japan at the weekend. If we look at the backs first, we see Sam Johnson returning in the centre and Darcy on the wing. Just talk us through your selection in the backs.
Yeah, well, that's a backline that started against Australia. I think it's the same backline that started against France in the Six Nations. So we feel that in both those games the players played well, so they're deserving of this opportunity. We had mixed things up last week, firstly to see other players, but also to make sure that our energy levels were high as a squad right throughout this campaign, and not a huge amount of players were playing 4 tests in a row. So yeah, it's obviously up to Sam and Darcy to show that their energy is really high, having missed last week, and we know they both played well against Australia. We're looking for the same from them this weekend.
5 changes in the forwards pack as well, Gregor. I guess it's quite a good way for coaching point of view that you can mix things up to that extent and ahead of a big Six Nations coming up. But 5 changes in the forwards, talk us through that.
Yeah, well, one of them is 2 of them are players come back from injury. So George Turner and Scott Cummings, who were regulars for us during the Six Nations, back in. So that's a boost. Forwards obviously take a little bit more of the physical hit than backs. So we feel with Matt Fagerson, Sam Skinner, Stuart McInally being on the bench this week, that can manage them, but also gives other players opportunities. And Josh Bayliss at number 8, who has had a really good season at number 8 for Bath. Earlier this year, we felt he was more of a 6 or 7, but seeing him run there at Bath, we think he can really add to our game. And in the front row, we feel Jamie Batty, who's been on the bench for these last 3 games, deserves an opportunity. And again, it's a chance for us to manage Pierre and see the impact he can make off the bench.
You mentioned Josh Bayliss. This will be his first start for Scotland. Came off the bench against Australia. What have you made of him in camp so far? He's obviously settled in really well and putting in good performances.
Yeah, he settled in well. I know from the summer the coaches were very impressed with how he conducted himself on and off the field. He's a quick learner, so he takes feedback very well. He's certainly our quickest forward in the squad, and we'll be pushing some of the wingers in the squad too. So having that asset is both a real positive in attack and defence. And we know we'll have to work hard in defence this weekend. With the way Japan play, there's going to be breaks. There's going to be times where they get behind us. So while our frontline defence will be important, our scramble, our hustle to get back and recover is even more important against this opponent. So yeah, he's had a really good season, another line option, and getting his first start for Scotland obviously is a big boost for him and his family.
And you have 2 uncapped players on the bench. If they get on against Japan at the weekend, what will you expect from them?
Well, what they've brought in this camp and for their clubs, Javen obviously has a different role to play, being a tight head prop. So if he gets opportunity to scrum, then we want to see a massive strength of his game, which is in that tight exchange. He's a very good rugby player too, moves well. So it's not always what you expect or require from a tight head, but I'm sure he'll make good decisions in attack and defence outside of the set piece. And for Dylan, it's really just transferring what he's shown us in training. He brings a real edge to the training. Very competitive, very fit, and he's got real lower body strength, so we expect him to carry hard and carry through the tackle.
You've already talked a little bit about Japan, but what have you made of them in the Autumn Nations Series up till now?
Well, it was a challenging start for Japan, playing Ireland, who have been in great form as their first game, and for a lot of their players, they hadn't played that much rugby. They'd played Australia a couple of weeks before, but the Japanese season finished at the end of spring, so they're just getting back into the rugby. They're a very cohesive team. They've played obviously at the highest level now for the last 2 or 3 years and played very well. really dangerous attacking side, but also one of the best jackling teams. They won a number of jackals against Ireland and last week against Portugal. So our contact work has to be better this week. The last quarter of the game against South Africa, we dropped our standards in that area and it cost us.